welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. And apparently get married! Hurrah! Previously, after some adventures in the Featherfall mining consortium tunnels and the dragon and kobold infested areas past the salt gate that basically separates the Equitas from Baronsvere in the cliff, with all attendant issues, the Archfey incident, the purple worm from beneath you it devours incident, the thing you were actually there for, the ancient blue dragon also from beneath you it devours incident, at least until you stuck her in a goldfish bowl of prismatic wall, which I have a feeling that Twilly is getting so many hugs from so many people. And she will adore it, I'm sure, because she's Twilly and she lives for that kind of thing. And then there was potluck supper with kobolds. Potluck! Anyway, they then headed back to Egref, where rooms had been arranged for them at the Tipsy Pixie, through, at a remove, Remi's parents, who Alisaie had informed that, hey, we're getting married, your daughter wants you there. Move. And don't freak out. They have not freaked out. Remi did a little bit when she found out what her father used to do, and partially what her mother used to do, but she refuses to talk about that. But everybody effectively went their separate ways because the Crestwind parents did a little bit of the legwork and actually determined that there was space in the Conundrum Pavilion to actually get wed the following day. And since mostly it just involved some clothes, a few clandestine questions that we hope that the answers to are going to be remotely useful in the short time you have, and, you know, bachelorette party kind of things, they figured, yeah, they could do that. So Hazel and Barnabas spent a fair bit of time decorating their quadrant of the Conundrum Pavilion. We did not decide what Froseth was wearing, by the way, because we did not want to step on whatever creativity you might wish to apply to this. Basically, they're kind of looking at a red and white color palette sort of situation, and moderately fancy, but as far as we got was probably something not too ornate and comfortable enough to move in. I mean, if push comes to shove, he still has his pretty robes, if he just wanted to go with that. I'm just saying. We can't hear you. You're muted. No, we are not hearing you.
Nope, still nothing.
Check.
There we go.
You found it.
Nope. Different mute spot.
Okay.
Than normal. I've got like 3 different buttons.
Okay.
Same. I understand that pain.
But yeah, Froseth being Froseth, he'd probably just go with what he has instead of, that's fancy instead of
Well, we did have him accompanying Darwin, Clarity, and Ava shopping, I'm just saying. But if he wants to stick with what he's got, then that's cool too. I mean, to be fair, if he does just stick with what he's got, Alisaie will probably just laugh. In that, yeah, that's you. This is good. Shoulder bump kind of way.
Yeah, he'll stick with what he's got.
Yeah, so his water type robes. It actually probably matches with what Remi's doing more than it does the color palette theme thing. So that's actually good. It'll be nice to have somebody a bit more deep blue themed going on. So yeah, and you know, when they headed back to let Barnabas pick up a nicer shirt and Hazel to get nicer vestments, and Hazel managed to get to the shrine of Pelor in the Path of Faith after Remi left. The shrine of Pelor for Barnabas and Hazel is this building almost entirely made out of glass. So mostly stained glass in shades of gold and blue on the outside, but even the floors and the ceilings are frosted glass for the floor, so that you're not looking up people's clothing, etc. But still enough to let light through. And if that's where Hazel is going for vestment, she's got tabaxi individual. You don't generally see tabaxi, by the way, in Alisaie, which is the continent you're on now. Those are largely, Remi will know this, and so will Barnabas. They're mostly Southern Lands refugees when they come up here. But yeah, you've got a tabaxi cleric prepping for individual shrines for individual sunset prayers, and very excited looking half-elf boy with bright green streaks in his hair, because apparently Molly is a trendsetter. That or Egref kids just be like that, you're not entirely sure. But either way, he's currently clinging to a small shard of tourmaline and kind of bouncing in his seat a little bit.
I'm just sort of looking at I see the tabaxi, like, what the? I have zero recognition, just total confusion.
And he said, hello to you.
Hello. How we doing?
Well enough, but your friend seems very confused.
I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar with the whole cat thing. I'm sorry.
To be fair, it looks a bit more basic mountain lion kind of effect going on with this. Yes, I am tabaxi.
Okay.
We originate from the Southern Lands, but mostly we flee the Southern Lands.
What little I've heard about, that seems like a good plan.
And I have heard of you.
What?
You're of the Cupcake Coterie people, yes.
Yep.
Well then, I've definitely heard of you.
Oh boy.
Is the big green bow?
That's good.
And I have heard of you, but less from the Cupcake end of things. You a year or two ago, you and your people brought some of my cousins over.
I remember. Yeah, I've gotten out of the mercenary business.
And now you are adventuring with Cupcake peoples.
That's the companionship is of a much higher.
Yes, you were with that Carter individual. I do not think you get that much worse. I said that much worse.
I know. I'm just.
Look, you.
I gotta work real hard on that one, but you're right.
If you are after items for certain bits and pieces for tomorrow, you might wish to speak to Perek. It would probably keep him from vibrating right out of his chair.
What?
Gestures.
That state.
A friend of yours, I think, at least in part.
Oh boy, here goes nothing. I'm gonna head over to the kid.
And he goes the tabaxi goes back to sorting things out, and
I'm just gonna lean into the kid's view. Hello.
the accent's not quite Belarusian, but it's close. Oh, hi. Oh, wow. There's another one of you. And you're Hazel.
Yeah, we're all here.
Yeah, I get that. It's been a big day, okay? Sorry.
Oh boy, if this was at it would have been here. Was it Alisaie or was it Remi?
I'm sure she probably won't be too mad if I tell you it was Remi. She seems like a very private person!
Well, I'm in need of vestments with which to conduct a wedding.
Yeah, it does not look remotely surprised at that. Are we looking at real fancy, kind of fancy, or just something better than you get in the emergency kit?
Kinda fancy seems about where we're going, if I recall the deco.
Okay. Hang on. Nyerm.
I mean, it's a wedding. Is there such a thing as too fancy?
Yes.
I'll take your word on that.
Isn't this coming from the guy who was talking about dwarven weddings looking like a fancy armory?
Well, yes, but they also go like, ah.
Kid comes back with the folded up white cloth bundle. Basically, it's kind of it's the basic, almost a kimono-ish looking robe in white and gold with a sunburst sort of obi situation. This is moderately fancy, not quite high, not quite senior, not quite highest cleric, but senior cleric-ish kind of look. At least on this side of the big cliff wall. Hi, Dune.
This is just more head tilt from Hazel. This is, oh boy. Mount Pelor didn't do a lot like this.
Well, Mount Pelor is on the other side of the thing, and you can raise the dead. You have fancier. I saw the play, okay?
There's a... Oh, boy. Out of curiosity, is there a production of that going on anytime soon?
It's running now. It's been running for about 2 weeks.
Well,
There-
more in specific, what's the next instance of it?
There's a playhouse in the entertainment district. You can't miss it. And there's a review in one of our stage magazine things.
I'll look into that. Thanks.
I think I've got a copy if you want to look at the review. Hang on. Digs under the desk and poof. And it really is it's basically like one of those very devoted to theater magazines, and the cover is featuring a play called Winter's Crest, and it apparently is a rave review, but it's also heavily dramatized.
I'm just kind of quietly amused by this, and I I'm going to get myself a copy of this for
Uh,
reasons.
I mean, there's shops that sell them just about everywhere. So,
Perfect.
and the fancier you know, big ceremony robes, we have to charge a gold for just for the materials and stuff.
I'm just going to immediately hand that over.
Okay. And looks at Barnabas and just, hi.
Hi, I'm just along for the ride.
I figured that, but I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you or thrown by your presence. So, hi.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Peric.
Barnabas.
Cool.
Gotta ask, the green, that recent?
Yeah, and I used to do all of it green, but then we had this. I've got about 3 classmates now trying to make dye that changes color according to your mood, like this one kid who just turned up, and we haven't got there yet. But the person who does is going to get the best apprenticeship, I tell you.
The one who turned up. How goes progress there?
I don't work in her department, so I don't really know. I just, I see her at the soda shop and you know, at meals and stuff. I'm in the divine research part of things, and I might be moving on to an apprenticeship with an individual. So that's gonna be good.
Apprenticeship with an individual?
It's kind of hard to explain, but your friend is kind of responsible in a way, or at least flagged up my presence to one of the foremost enchanted object makers in our department. So
Huh.
I'm sharing the evening meal with him tonight, and that's going to be really awesome. And I will tell you this and only this, you will see at some point why I want to work with him.
You just keep walking in the sun. Thanks for this. We can figure out how. I think Froseth will be able to help me figure out how to get this thing on.
There's an instruction leaflet tucked into the OB.
Praise the sun. Anyway, best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Boop.
Okay. Looks at Barnabas like,
I'm just gonna delightfully wander off. Well, Barnabas is trying to figure this out.
I'm just. Okay. Again, pleasure to meet you, and just wanders away.
bye. Yeah. So yeah, the vestments are handled. First, has got his bit and piece, and barring any last things, you'll meet up at the crepe house for dinner.
I'm getting one of those magazines before.
Oh yeah, I mean you pass effectively, you know, newsagents once you hit the shopping district like regularly. They're neat little stores in their own right because they sell like, you know, magazines and bits of snack food and drink and. Yeah, less selection than you find in the big sweet shops, but you know, little bags of sweets, bits of licorice, bars of chocolate. Not as good quality, but something you can just get to snack on.
I'm just gonna be patient, wait for the crepe place, and grab a magazine.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying because this is not something Hazel would have seen, and there's also effectively they have Gatorade in, I mean, all various colors.
Ones that probably we can't even see normally because Agraf and ultraviolet Gatorade would be a thing.
Yeah, and you know that shade of greenish purple. The color of magic.
Brief bit of bafflement and just kind of, I could spend all day on this. I'm going to get back to this later.
The magazine is 7 coppers.
Huzzah.
So yes, you meet up at the pancake house, and oh, hello.
No.
And yes, Hazel is clutching a. Remi has seen this magazine. Remi has read that review. Remi nearly chucked the magazine across the room, if I remember correctly. So she sees what's in Hazel's grubby little bits and just. Yeah.
Remi finds something else very interesting.
I'm just going to, as I wander over, I'm going to take the magazine and just hand it to Clarity.
The magazine is, I don't know if you heard because you seem to be having kid things. It's basically a theater magazine, and the feature article is a review of a play called Winter's Crest, which seems to cover it's a romanticized dramatization of the Remi Alisaie thing. The review is wonderful, but they took some significant liberties.
I feel like I should have expected this.
And Alisaie, just when she turns up, it kind of looks over Clarity's shoulder and, oh, fuck. Unfortunately, when Corey and Amel Crestwind join in, Corey also has the magazine.
That'd be big log.
Well, no, I mean, there is a certain amount of. We're gonna have to arrange to see this.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one thinking that.
Alisaie just kind of steps up to Remi, puts an arm around her shoulder, and just goes, "I know." Pat. Believe me, I much prefer being the one telling the story, but if she the gestures in Hazel's direction, if she tries to make us go to that fucking play, I'm
I'm not going to insist. I'm just going to arrange for anyone who wants to go if possible.
She gives you all the filthiest fucking look.
I think you and I can find something else to occupy ourselves with.
Well, given that they've probably got tomorrow, if we're going to at least have one day to ourselves. That's the thing. Clarity and maybe Barnabas I could understand because they weren't there. Anyone who was there. What the fuck do you need it on a stage for? Glaring at Hazel.
I've got other things I have other things I think I want to do first, reading.
I'm sure there are other plays, guys.
Yes, but then we don't get to see who plays you and Remi and whether it's an
Alisaie's
representation.
There could never be an accurate enough representation of Alisaie.
But then it's
There couldn't be an accurate enough representation of Ree!
And Ree, yes, of course.
When you call her Ree, she looks at you.
Oh, sorry.
This is gonna be one of those days. I think the only reason it would be worth it was to see not so much who, but how they play Hazel.
That's part of why I want to see this.
Let's go in and have little pancake things.
Yes. Yes, that's
All
a good
hail
idea.
power cake pans!
Absolutely.
just a thing. While I was out shopping and stuff, or doing decorations, can I have looked for flower crowns and some sort of sash that says like bride on it? I'm picturing like the discount area of seasonal items from Target.
To be fair, this is Egreth. They have party supply shops.
Oh God, Party City on roids.
Yeah, I mean we're talking, you know, we're talking magical light up dealy boppers and.
Shit, I kind of want those now. I used to have a set of that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I miss dealy boppers. I admit, but
Yeah.
I know what they are.
What?
you do or don't know what they are.
Don't know what they are. I've
You know,
never actually seen the item.
Okay, you know headbands.
Those are
Spring.
Dealy Boppers?
Those are dealy boppers.
Yeah, it's called a dealy
Those
bopper.
are called?
Yes.
Yep.
I didn't know that either.
I did not know that.
It's a generational thing.
I've seen them. I didn't know what they were called.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. It's more of a generational thing because when I was a kid, you went out to you either when you had parties or you went out to amusement parks. You got dealy boppers.
Yeah, or not even amusement parks. The ones where they put them up in the parking lot.
Carnivals. Carnivals.
That's the word. Thank you. Or the fair.
Yeah.
The town fair.
Well, that's the thing, because I have a picture somewhere of me at one of the really cheap old amusement parks, not theme parks, but this was Niagara Falls in the early '80s.
Oh
Yeah, I know
no.
what you're talking about. Kind of like Roxy and
Fantasy
Chattanooga.
Island.
Possibly.
Or like Coney Island back in the day.
Something along those lines, but yeah, there's a picture of me with people in old timey police costumes. I was wearing a pair of dealy boppers,
And you could get them in different shapes. They could be moons or
stars or hearts, yeah, or just plain boing little circles.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, there's crowns and flower garlands and actual party hats, and you get the noisemakers. You know, the ones where you blow them and they puff out and.
Or the ones that's just where it's just the little ribbons on the end and they're just kind of flutter.
I'm gonna get like light up dealy boppers and flower crowns and just like all of the garish sort of stuff. And for basically everybody.
Alisaie's
You
gonna.
guys can wear them too.
Alisaie's gonna fucking murder you. No, she will explain why Remi had a very bad idea.
Clarity doesn't know.
No, I know. That's why this is going to be very amusing. I explained to Noms after Remi mentioned this to Clarity, and Noms was like, oops. So, yeah, I mean, Remi is probably looking at whatever bag Clarity's carrying around and thinking, oh, shit. But yeah, it's a nice little restaurant. Finding a table for 10 is doable, but you wind up basically taking up space in one of the longer tables, sort of smack in the middle of the restaurant. And what you wind up with is this kind of tripod stand-ish scenario where at the top there's enough space for, your... sort of at the bottom you've got enough space for your plate. Then you go one up and there's this little stone with a funny little rune on it. And that's where you set an individual-sized frying pan.
Oh, like for
Something like that, yeah. A little bit larger, but your plate actually fits underneath it, and you can telescope it up so that it's not in your way. But apparently, what you do, according to the waiter that sits you down, is we bring you a bowl of batter and whatever fillings you wish, and then you pour the batter and you cook the thing, and you put the filling on, and then you serve yourself from there. You cook your own pancakes.
Huh.
I may or may not have started vibrating in my seat.
And Corey is just like, what will they think of next? And there's all the kinds of savory crepe fillings, and apparently you can get bowls of everything and kind of mix and match them if you want to, because the pans also have self-cleaning prestidigitation enchantments on them, so you can use the same pan for your dessert crepes later. But Corey and Emil are wonderfully charmed by this. So it's basically sort of a cross between crepes and fajitas. So that's fun dinner for all concerned. And Alisaie is like, so did everybody have a good and productive day of bits and pieces?
Yep.
I'd say so, yes.
Did you have one of those days, Barnabas?
No.
You just seem a bit tired. That's all. And
Well,
you went out with Hazel, didn't you?
yeah, I did.
I don't know it.
The tank is running a little empty, I will admit. But it was very good, very productive, and it was actually oddly fun.
Hazel's good that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's a good descriptor.
What?
Remi looks to Alisaie.
Hmm?
Takes the box, and I have
Oh,
something for you.
can we not do this tomorrow?
Well, it's for tomorrow, but
Oh, but I had a thing, and I was actually going to present it tomorrow. But if we're doing this now, okay.
it is something I think you should wear tomorrow.
Boy, I hope it goes with my dress. But before I even think about opening that, and I'm sorry because I can see you squirming, but if we're doing this, we're doing this. Rummages in her bag and pulls out a rather smaller box than the one she's got. Deeper, but smaller. And puts it down in front of Remi. And you're opening yours first, because you sprang this on me.
Okay. Impatiently opens the thing.
What she has is... It's a fairly simple, deep blue enameled wrist cuff that has that combined symbol of Tritherian and Starburst that she currently has branded over her heart. Okay, put it on, stand up, and then put your hand over the symbol and mentally invoke Ziriel. Just think his name.
Okay. And then she gets up to do all that.
There is a shimmer as she does that, and once the shimmer is past, she is in full armor with her shield on her back.
That's... wow.
That's a combination wedding present between me and Ziriel.
Oh, Alisaie.
Look, the most freaked out I've ever seen you was when shit went down in the Elven Wild and you were armorless. So I'm not having that happen to you again.
That is a very good thought. How do I just do it again?
Same thing, and it should go back to where you last had it.
Okay, she does that so that she can step up
Yeah,
behind her.
Not like I haven't hugged you in full plate before, but hey.
Still a little bit more comfy.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't need it. But then again, I don't need armor of my own, so it's not like that's going to bug me too much anyway. Probably better for you, because you can feel more of the hugging when it's not through armor plate.
Yes, it is.
Just admit to it being for you. I will be much happier with it when it's for you. You know this. This is me we're talking about. Speaking of, I probably let you squirm long enough, and then she opens her box, and I'll let Remi explain what's inside, even though I do know what it is.
It is now I need to pull up the.
Do you want me to do it? Because I actually remember off the top of my head.
I need a minute to
Yeah.
the description so you could.
What it is a circlet, a kind of a tiara-ish kind of looking thing. It's red gold and white gold wire that curves to look like a bit like gusts of wind, with very small topaz chips looking like feathers in a gale. At the front, right about where the where it would rest on her forehead, is a largish topaz, very intricately cut so that the facets make it look like a starburst in the center. Okay, wow, that definitely goes with my dress. Wow. There's more to this.
Yes, but I think that should wait until tomorrow.
Okay. I'm not going to put it on yet, because if nothing else, when I do, that'll give me, that might give me more of a clue than you want me to have right now. It shuts the box and puts it back. Actually, it's probably just as well that I have that now, because I wanted our various how we look to be a surprise on the day. I arranged a morning appointment. Do you know they have people here who actually make a living out of doing people's hair and stuff? Yeah, it's not just some guy down the block trimming. It actually, they will do things with your hair. I guess that's how some people do the dyes and stuff. But
I heard from someone that one of our friends, Molly, started something of a trend with the hair stuff. Everyone's trying to make a dye that can change colors. I think either at will or with or by season.
He literally said mood.
I'm mood.
Aw, that's adorable.
Things are getting
that's
crazier in that world very soon.
But that sounds like home dyes. This is people who do apparently they know all the things you could conceivably do with somebody's hair. So if I am having to if I get to wear that, and I have to have my hair done in a way that's not going to interfere with my wearing that. So, I left the dress with them. So I will be departing first thing in the morning to get things done. I mean, I've arranged it very, very early because it might take a terrible long time to make me look presentable.
I don't know about that, but there is a lot of hair to work with.
And you would know, yeah. Of course, this is going to remind Hazel that she's going to have to ask somebody to, even if she has instructions, she's probably going to need to ask someone to help her into her new vestments.
Oh boy. Hey, Clarity, when we're done here, I'm gonna need to borrow you. And probably find somewhere with a decent changing room.
Well, yeah, because you'd need it in the morning, and you guys are sharing a room. So why?
Well, it's more I want practice
Ah.
with it ahead of time.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's just say that the vestments I got my mitts on for the whole wedding thing are complicated, and even with an instruction leaflet, I'm probably going to end up so tangled I can't move.
I would give it my best shot.
You have clever hands and a clever mind. I'm sure you'll be fine.
And bravo on the amount of forethought there, Hazel. Nice. I didn't mean that to sound. I'm trying to. It was supposed to be a legitimate compliment. God damn it!
And I'm taking it as one. You're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in a way that did not turn it into a backhanded compliment.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
okay.
you said good foresight. You did not flag up or otherwise hammer on the times that she didn't have them.
Oh, good. Okay.
What you
Sorry.
were doing was encourage. You were doing an encouragement thing that will let her, take that as, I do good, I get good compliment, I will continue this in future. Not, did you have to bring that up again?
Right. That's what I was trying to go for. Sorry.
And
Thank you.
no, and you did it. That's what I was trying to say.
Succeeded.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Thank you.
Everybody's fine. Everybody's good. And at which point you have Mel leaning over to Remi and going, I see why you like her.
Mom, I could probably use some help too tomorrow morning.
I'd be happy to, but I mean, you don't do makeup and your hair. I mean, you.
No, yeah.
You
no.
you normally just brush it sometimes.
Yep, that was the plan. But there's still the outfit is still has a few bits.
And she sort of leans in and goes, and you will probably want a pep talk, I understand. But I am going to maintain your reputation, darling.
Thank you.
Of course, she then turns around and goes, so all right, one thing I really do have to... I know that you can't tell me all of it, but can somebody please explain to me why my to-be daughter-in-law was denied being a brass arrow?
That was several critical errors on our part.
If I ever meet Claire Bendis, I'm going to give her a piece of my mind.
Oh boy, that. Incoming for the wedding. They all the governors kind of invited themselves.
And the look on Corey's face is just, oh, good.
Mother.
I said I was going to give her a piece of my mind, and I meant it.
Maybe not on the wedding day, Mother.
It's not a decent wedding unless there's at least one shouting match.
And it's fair. She's not
I
wrong.
don't know about that.
You obviously were not there at your father's and my wedding.
No, there was a few things I didn't know, but
Well, look at it this way. Your Aunt Petunia and your Uncle Devon actually wound up having a punch-up of the cake.
yeah, that's what I would want to avoid.
I'm not going to punch her. I'm not stupid. And Amel is like, Remi, I'm very sorry, but for a number of reasons, I'm backing your mother on this one. I have every right to, and you know it.
Yes, but
Well, you guys don't know.
diplomatic incidents and all.
It's not a diplomatic incident. It's figuring out where exactly my organization is going at this point. And when he gets that look from Darwin, it unbuttons his sleeve, rolls it up, brass arrow. Sorry, I didn't hear that. You went a bit garbled midway through.
Oh, sorry. Darwin's just. I got to agree with Corey. Darwin's deliberately thinking of the confrontation with Alisaie and realize and how that went over, and I'm like figuring
the
much.
cramp ended
This will more,
thing.
yeah. Thinking this is probably going to be much the same.
And Alisaie, just in all fairness, I mean, they offered it to me after I soloed the Red Dragon. I turned it down because I wanted it when I earned it. I didn't want it as some big exception because I did something that I shouldn't have been able to and in fact didn't survive. If I was going to get it, I was going to get it when I'd earned it properly. I mean, hell, for all we took a really bad challenge. The fact that I took down as many of the cloakers as I did probably should have earned me a place anyway. I mean, I wasn't the one who ignored all the warnings about, I'm pretty sure that shadow moved. And Amel is just cloakers. Yeah, 4 of them. Our fighter was an idiot. He insisted, we don't need potions. That's what we have a cleric. And the cloakers went for our cleric first. And I was still a little shaky about the whole... I didn't even know I was a celestial being. I just knew that at 1 or 2 points I sprouted wings and could occasionally heal people a little bit. And I broke it out when I had to, but it was too late. But I still killed several of them, while everybody else was kind of cowering, and they have that moan thing. And Amel's like, yeah, they have that moan thing. I know they have that moan thing. But I survived. They didn't. I buried them. I took my cloaker bits and I went back, but because I did not get the Bahir that they sent us after, they sent you after a Bahir when you were a small group with a cleric and no potions and an idiot fighter. He picked it. He's the idiot here. Was. Not to speak... Actually, no, I'm going to speak ill of the dead. It's the idiot that made him dead. Yes, no, looks at Remi. Yes, no, I'm definitely backing your mother here.
Oh, at least wait till after the ceremony, not before it.
I think we can probably about agree to that.
Thank you.
There might be the occasional dirty look.
All right.
So, are you guys trying to imply that not about having to dust up during the reception isn't normal for you people? Honestly, scheduling it ahead of time, that's genius.
Well, I mean...
Did we not tell him about the bar fight?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Scheduled bar fight.
There is a good reason for that.
And
I'm not saying there wasn't, but...
Yeah, and to be fair, we proved how bad an idea it can sometimes be to schedule a bar fight, because
Well, yes.
you
but...
you know how Carter be dead, partially down to them, and part of the reason for that is that in response to the scheduled bar fight, Carter hired an assassin.
I didn't think he would
Poisoned the bunch of them.
Surprise. Surprise. Surprise.
Thank goodness for Hazel.
Mhm.
Yeah. As far as I heard it, most people got kind of sick, except Flitty. Flitty kind of died. Then Flitty from under a crepe that Alisaie cooked for him, a little blanket-sized on a fairy dragon crepe. I'm feeling much better now. I got a pancake. Mumph. He likes it. That's cool.
Thank Pelor for Hazel. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There so many days like that, I have a feeling, but we'll grind our way through them all, won't we?
Oh, definitely. But for now, we'll stick with the celebration-y elements, and you've got Corey and Mel going. We'll leave you young people to your celebrations, and Mel and I suppose, will be the ones turning up at the Tipsy Pixie at. Hopefully not too early for you all, but preparations will need to be made, so I'm not going to be all terribly mother about it, but never mind, you have lesser restoration, you're fine. Kisses Remi on top of the head, gives her a one-armed hug, and leaves the restaurant. And you hear Corey on the way out. I wonder if we can get any last-minute tickets to that play.
So, wherefore are we getting smashed?
Wherefore means why. We know why. And in fact, we're not getting smashed, or at least I'm not. So if you had any designs on that, you can forget it.
Oh. And the big question becomes, who's going where and what are we getting into?
Oh, I kind of thought you, me, Clarity, because Clarity goes where you go and vice versa, and Ava for... I mean, I saw a neat little cocktail and piano bar, nice quiet little spot with interesting but not that interesting drinks. A little less on the magically motivated end. And as for everybody else, well, they can look for their own entertainment for the evening.
I got party favors. People decorations, if you will.
I'm going to explain to you very carefully why not. Look, for the people, we don't do this often. Our hunting packs are effectively polyamorous family-ish groups. So picking one among all others is the biggest of big deals, because it's not necessary from any point of view. It's the night before for us, the few times that we do that is spent on quiet reflection and understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, and quietly celebrating the life you're about to share with this one other person. It's not a last hurrah of freedom situation the way it is for a lot of other bits and pieces, which is where that tradition started. It's looking forward to what's to come.
I understand that. It's just, I have flower crowns, and you don't have to wear them. And I have things that light up, and you don't have to wear them. But, I'm going to wear a flower crown because I'm happy for you.
It's kind of that's the thing, it's a cultural no-no for me, but I guess I get it.
It'll
We
really
can,
offend you. I can save it for later. I'm sure I can do something with them.
Why not on the day? The day feels like a celebratory flower crown thing.
She looks in the bag. They're a little garish. Not gonna lie.
Well,
You're ridiculous.
hey, tell you what. Here's what we can do. While Ree and I are having our first night, if you guys are still, that happy, you all can be as garish as you want, drinking to our happiness, while we're over there somewhere.
Okay, that's fair. And we can see plays at the same time.
You can see plays in the ridiculous garish flower crowns and things that light up. There you go. Okay, we have compromise. But can I drink with my girls and look forward to the life to come?
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
That's the idea.
Come on, guys.
Time for drink.
And then there's you four.
Looks mostly to Darvin. We need to find a bar.
Well, yeah. You're lead on as far as which one.
Oh no.
And, I mean, if we win the night with a black eye, it wouldn't be the first time. Not from you. I mean, just in general. Yeah.
Ideally, we'll avoid that.
Well, yeah.
What kind of what he's asking, which Remi will figure out after a minute, what kind of bar is she looking for? What basic theme is she looking at?
Definitely something a little more excitable than pianos.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you say that, do you mean just in general energy, or like are we talking happy, energetic, more or
How close to the forbidden bar are you getting in terms of crazy?
More happy, not anything forbidden.
Okay, what you do end up finding as you're walking along is it's less an alley and more almost an alley-let. It's the door to it is sunk back into the wall a little bit, and it apparently it has a very small footprint. This bar, and it's got when you look in what little windows you have, what you have is every wall of the place has been all but wallpapered with posters of what seem to be musical groups, interesting plays. There's that bottled music again, but it's the louder bumpy kind of stuff that you would have heard at Basil Cell. There's some really interesting metalwork sculptures that look like they were built out of pieces of Magitech gear, or bits of old trolleys and things, but made up to look like spiders and things. And the whole place smells of decent beer, cheap but strong other booze. It's loud and people are having a significantly good time.
I just go.
Looks like the place.
All right. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, did Furseth go with these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this tiny little rock grunge bar, basically.
You're looking at everybody going,
Is it weird that I got the impression of escape room bar from the first half of that description?
Probably not, no, but it's actually based on a bar just off Soho in London that I used to go to a lot. It was called the Intrepid Fox. It was very small. It had a pool room upstairs. This one has the same thing. But,
Did we pass it on any of the wanderings?
No, because it shut down a very long time ago. It moved to under Center Point at Tottenham Court Road, but the bigger premises and the increase the increase in rent and general space and just the move to a spot that wasn't Soho kind of killed it.
Nuked it.
Yeah, it's a pret-a-manger now. The original site. A chain sandwich bar.
Oh
Yeah,
boy! So it's in that same category as the place that when we passed, you yelled at the unholy Art Deco.
Not that one, but similar kind of location. Actually, it's only a couple of blocks down. But that's the whole thing. That entire area is they've been jacking up the rents to turn into less counterculture wonderfulness and more gentrification, which is horrible because it's just off Old Compton Street, which is our sort of gay spot.
Oh God! Now I remember where that intersection was, and now I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, basically that whole space is now like Starbucks, Pret-a-Manger, some chain sushi place, and don't even get me started. Anyway, so I've revivified the Intrepid Fox here.
Reminds me a little bit of CBGB's with better decor and better music and better booze, but that same crowd.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, my one of the most memorable times I went there was Halloween because they made a really big deal of Halloween every year, and I dressed in this kind of gothy rose demon-y kind of getup, which was this red velvet sort of diagonal cut skirt with black lace edging, this kind of top which was bell sleeves from the elbows out and tight around the bust, but a little bit more space on the hip ends, knee-length boots with red laces and this red rose bits in my hair, which was still long at that point. And if you had a really impressive costume, they take your picture, they pin it to the wall above the bar, and they'd leave it there all year. Not only was my picture there for a good few months, apparently somebody stole it and took it home, which is kind of creepy, but
also a little flattering, but still kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But more creepy than anything, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was still there, and apparently people were really impressed. So hey, anyway, so yes, that's the bar you guys end up in with a less Halloween-y kind of crowd. But this is the more rock, grunge, goth kind of. So you're seeing a lot of black, a lot of leather, and the floor is kind of vibrating, just because of the bottled music is the sheer boom boom.
Darwin's practically bouncing into the dirt through the door, just like, yes, I love this place.
And I take it somewhat lesser degrees of enthusiasm, but still, hey.
It suits Barnabas just fine.
Let's just try to picture Froseth's reaction to this.
The very air is loud. That's probably an experience unto itself.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure what kind of reaction you get. Like that still have the like stoic, but there would be something to the looking around, like piquing interest and whatnot. But no.
Yeah, not Darwin boing.
No. not fully like boing like, but very much like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
More like
Yeah. But to be fair, there's not really that much room for that much else because
exactly.
You have a half orc behind the bar who's basically going, okay, just so you know, you're not from around here and you look flashy. So I'm just saying, we get 3 kinds of beer, 3 kinds of whiskey. some vodka. Be careful with it. And upstairs we got a pool table.
So, Darvin, I think we're gonna need the beer and the whiskey.
Okay, so let me quickly ask you guys, because we're nearing break time, but I get the impression that you guys aren't going to be so much talking during this whole situation, unless Remi wants to, in which case we can.
Nothing, no speeches or anything to be made, just hanging about.
Okay, but here's my question: how hammered do you want to get?
Approaching moderately, probably.
I want to stay on the charming side of drunk. Yes, that's an actual song, in case anybody's wondering.
Barnabas?
Just a little buzz, because grooming himself to make the fur look really good for the wedding, gotta get up early.
And Froseth, do I have to ask?
Probably wouldn't get very drunk, though I've got a question about my current now immunity to poison and how that would interact with alcohol.
That's the thing. I'm going to say that it does not affect your internal organs. Your liver is fine. Your brain, on the other hand, that's a different story. I'm sorry, but things because I have to take into account things like caffeine and other drugs that you actually want to take.
Yeah.
So basically, you could get absolutely blackout drunk without doing yourself any liver, stomach, or associated damages.
Okay.
And that does mean that, because you're immune to poison and disease, but you're not necessarily immune to dehydration, which is where all the real hangover damage comes from. So your hangovers are a lot less, but you still get as drunk as you would get. It's just without the vomiting and the associated internal damage.
Yeah, so that pretty much what decides it there, because he basically goes until he starts to feel it, and then kind of backs off.
Yeah.
So he gets a good buzz going.
Okay, so this is the reason that I'm asking this is so that I know how much total you guys will be spending in there, and depending on your focus, because the beer is actually really, really good. The whiskey is. The vodka. Is anyone risking the vodka?
No.
Okay, good. That's probably
Darvin's not bad.
that's probably just as well.
I'm taking the Armin at their word.
Yeah, that's the thing. The vodka is cheap, and it will get you buzzed, and you can mix it with things to make it taste a little less. But mostly what you saw with the people who were drinking the vodka at the bar, they took shot, and they took it like medicine to taste it as little as possible. This is what you drink when you want to be drunk. So you had people taking down like 2 shots of vodka just to start the evening off, and then getting themselves pre-drunk. I'm sorry, I knew people who did this. I once taught a friend of mine when we were clubbing, when we were like the 17, 18 kind of range, because she was sipping this cheap, awful vodka and making faces, and I was like, what are you doing? It's just like, it's cheap and it'll get me drunk faster, but it tastes awful. Look, this is what you do. Got myself some of the awful vodka, tipped head straight back, right down the throat, barely touched the taste buds, and I regretted that because I spent the next year picking her up off of nightclub toilet floors. Yeah. Not Yes, and in fact, a year or so later, I went back to town, and apparently she still cannot look at vodka anymore. I'm like, just because I taught you how to do it didn't mean you had to do it that much. which I can only imagine is going to be an Alisaie comment to Hazel if she ever teaches Hazel how to take a shot properly. Anyway, I said if. Anyway, so you guys are probably looking at, given that you're looking at buzz but not significant, you're probably looking at a gold each. And it entirely depends on whether anybody's letting Remi pay for herself.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, probably have an argument over who gets to pay for Remy's.
I'm pretty sure
Still.
I'm pretty sure you guys would probably split it. Darvin would probably take that little that copper or so extra. So.
Yep, exactly. Because I was fully prepared to be like, I got everybody, but nope.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's you three each. Froseth buys a round, Darvin buys a round, Barnabas buys a round, and going on from there. That evens it out because of sheer body habitus, Barnabas and Froseth will take a bit more to get themselves drunk.
That's fair.
So yeah, you guys basically end your evening buzzed, but still functional, and there's not going to be a terrible lot of hangover to worry about. Yeah, and Froseth, as I recall, has been drunk like once and is never going that far again.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He'll know when to stop. Anyway, we are now past break time, so when we come back, we'll deal with the ladies, because I know a couple of them had questions. That's going to be fun. And then we will move on to actual ceremony bits. And we're back with Froseth, Remi, Barnabas, and Darvin kicking it slightly buzzed to school. And are you guys hitting the pool table at the rock bar?
Darvin's definitely trying to get everybody to do so, whether or not it happens. Yeah, cool.
It won't take much convincing. Yes.
Yay!
Okay, so what I would like, very briefly, is for everybody involved to make me a dex check.
All right. 12.
Funny.
Which, given... Oof.
Remi runs the fucking table. I mean, Froseth has never played before. Neither has Darvin. But he picks basically Darvin picks up the rules quicker. Furseth and Barnabas have issues because the table is meant for more human height individuals. So they're having to bend a little further, and the angle is a bit off, and Furseth comes about this close to ripping the felt with the cue.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
But Remi has apparently done this before, and you all end this entirely glad that you didn't end up playing for money. Had you been considering playing for money? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna roll the hand of fate now.
Yes.
Oh no.
Because you all are kind of plastered at that point.
No, they're a bit buzzed. There's a difference. Okay, nope. The hand of fate was not particularly kind to you. And at the end of it, Darvin and only Darvin owes Remi 4 gold.
Okay.
Not so bad.
Remi is very content.
You're muted. You're muted.
Darvin's just happy that Remi's having fun. I don't even care. Yes.
Meanwhile, the first thing is that, Alisaie turns around to Hazel and goes, okay, we have a couple of things that apparently we wanted to do because I promised you a flight.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
But what we'll do first, because it's kind of on the way, because I like to start from a place of up, you also wanted a changing space to practice your getting into your vestments. And the space where I'm storing my dress does have a changing room. And I get to show you guys the dress.
Oh boy.
Yay!
It's only a few blocks from where you guys are in the direction of the cliffs, and it looks like fancy high-end hair salon kind of thing, and manicure, pedicure, the whole 9 yards kind of situation. A lot of it magically involved, but you guys haven't seen people painting people's nails before, so that's all kind of neat. And she waves and just goes, hi, I have kind of paid for storage space for my dress, so could they borrow that to practice some stuff? And yes, of course, you have paid wonderfully well. It's fine, and we will see you in the morning. Yes, definitely. Are you sure we cannot talk you into getting a manicure? I'd like to, but with what I do with my hands, I just wreck all your good work. I'm sure we could think of some magical things to sustain that. Yeah, but then it would still be wrecked at some point anyway, and I'd feel bad. I'm sure that we can do something that will only last for the day. You can come back and you can have everything taken off. I'll think about it. And she ushers them into a nice, cushy little dressing room, and hanging on a hook on the wall is that dress. Ta-da! Like I said to Ree, it's good. It's gonna look really good with that with that circlet thing, whatever it does. It must use something, but I'm not gonna fish too hard into it. But yeah, that's it, guys.
Sparkly.
Beautiful.
You're going to look gorgeous.
Thank you. Now, shall we leave you two to try to figure out Hazel's whole deal?
Well, if I get tangled and fall over, y'all are probably gonna hear it and a lot of flailing.
I'm sure you have Clarity helping you. I'm sure you'll be fine.
That's never stopped me from falling on my face before.
I suppose she
I mean,
couldn't.
usually that.
She's not really strong enough to hold you up. Try not to fall on Clarity.
I usually cushion the fall.
Yeah, but I don't want you
Being
being.
involved.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna stay here because I squish less easily than you do.
Well, instruction. I'm gonna find these instructions and hope to the gods I figure this out.
Okay, Clarity, make me a dex check. With advantage, you have Hazel kind of helping you.
All right.
God.
It's Hazel. Her dex is not that great.
My dex is a disaster, is what it is.
Oh, 12.
You're probably gonna have to practice that knot in the sash thing a few times on the actual day, because right now it's kind of lopsided, but you get the idea, and you've managed to control the flailing. That's part of the problem, because she's trying to help you, and you really need her to just stop helping you.
Stay still. Stay still. No. Go this way.
Hold on.
Please stop.
And I'm going to cast Hold Person on myself.
I don't think you can do that.
Well, I'm going to try.
It's the general feel of your god face palming at you.
Crap. And I'm just going to try to just try to remain in a vague sort of T-pose to keep my limbs out of the way.
Yeah, it's again, you're going to need to practice that knot a bit and make sure Hazel stays bloody still, but the front at least gives you the right idea, and Hazel does look wonderfully official. It's this sort of white and gold Pelor symbol, almost kimono-ish kind of a thing.
This is different.
You look lovely. And I give her a kiss.
No.
It's just colors up the red, back down to normal.
Right. Trying to think of the best way to handle the rest of it now. About 3 blocks down that way, there's a bar called the Nightingale's Wing. Fancy place. You guys shouldn't have any real trouble with it. And we'll be back in 10-15 minutes or so. Find us a drink. Can Hazel.
Don't forget the ground rules. Surprise me! And I walk off.
Fun.
Yeah, so Hazel very briefly gets a 10-minute flight over the city, probably clinging to Alisaie very hard for the first few minutes.
I am akin to a limpet.
Yeah, very early on you get Hazel. I can't fly if I can't breathe. But it's eventually the view does overcome the fear, just on the basis of, wow, this is sparkly.
Damn.
She makes a specific point of buzzing the Shrine of Pelor, just so she can see it from sort of above and the higher up levels.
There's just once that point rolls around, there's just sort of a locked-in expression of just sheer awe.
And again, buzzes the government building, buzzes the train station with its spire and its stained glass windows and its shiny clock. And at the 10-minute mark, they land a little square at the end of the entertainment district, so they're not landing directly in front of the place, just so that there's more space. And the wings would. So how you feeling?
I don't have words.
But it was good?
Yep.
Awesome. Come on, let's go. You probably need a drink to settle on a couple of levels now.
I feel like I'm vibrating, even though I'm not actually vibrating.
As long as it's not fear, we're good. Pat. Yeah, and during that 10 minutes or so, you guys walk into. It's upmarket plush, dimly lit largely by a rather ornate crystal chandelier just in the center of the table. Long polished mahogany bar, intimate little round tables with sort of booth elements around them, so that you have various bits of privacy. There's actually waiters come to the table rather than necessarily having to order at the bar, although there are seats at the bar if you want them to. In one corner, there's a piano being played by a half-elven gentleman, and you have a human woman, more or less on top of the piano in a slinky cocktail dress, singing quiet, sultry, more mood pieces than anything else.
I'm having DS9 flashbacks.
I've been to bars like this. But yeah, you settle into a booth, and there's a waiter comes by, sets down drinks menus. Is there only 2 in your party?
No, 2 friends of ours are coming.
Then we will leave more menus. I simply asked. Will there be nibbles beforehand? We can just bring a bowl of something nibblish.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes, I think.
I will give you some moments with the menu and wait for your friends to arrive. And comes back and basically it's not even just the bowl of mixed nuts. There is a little bowl of separated into smaller sections with various different kinds of nuts, but there's also kind of a little. It's more of that potato paper stuff, so it's a little bowl of crisp and little thing of dip and just little snacky nibbles, which are apparently complimentary, though given the drinks are a few silvers apiece for the most part, that's probably not. When Alisaie said she didn't necessarily want to get drunk, she meant it. And from the looks of this is all top shelf shit. So, yeah, a few minutes after you guys have settled in, these 2 come in with the Hazel look of sheer awe plastered across her face.
You like it?
Like went Robin?
I feel like I'm vibrating, but I'm not actually vibrating. I don't know what to make of this.
She clung a little tight around the neck for the first minute or so, but she chilled out after that.
It was
We buzzed.
like looking up at the stars, but in reverse. I don't know how that works.
Magical lights. That's how that works.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's actually really neat buzzing the Shrine of Pelor. I mean, you 2 know, because of course they have it lit up from the inside. So when the sun is shining in through all that glass, it's all lit from natural. But when it's evening, they've still got stuff going on, so the lights they have in there just light it up from the other direction. So it's always a glow. So yeah, the drinks menu when you look at it is fancy wines generally by the glass, and the more upmarket cocktails you do have Alisaie looking and going, espresso martini. I have to try this.
We all have to try this.
Well, there's actually a section that is martinis, so you get the various different types of martini up to and including tiramisu.
Ooh.
I've actually had a tiramisu martini. They are mwah. I'm gonna stick with the espresso martini, but I can see you guys are fascinated by the.
Here's a question: how many
Any
levels of
fruity
sangria are
bits?
we? How many levels of sangria deep does this menu go?
What do you mean sangria deep?
Like, how many levels deep into sangria does the menu go?
This is more really upmarket cocktail bar, so it's
So, like, even more upmarket than that. Wow.
yeah. Sangria is not upmarket. Sangria is
Yeah.
Sangria is wine and fruit juice. You know, this is
They've yeah. I'm aware of the it's just like some places bill it as upmarket because they do a whole thing with it.
yeah. But we're talking the really upmarket cocktail bars. We're
So,
talking.
Even wow.
Yeah, we're talking the kinds that specialize in the really upmarket cocktails. Even the wine is a sideline, really.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen specialty martini bars.
Yeah.
I'm glad I haven't.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you haven't seen any of those in New York, because I have.
I don't go to the clubs or bar districts when I'm in New York, and
Right,
even
that's
then,
fair. That's fair.
He
That's
doesn't
fair.
he doesn't drink much anyway, from what I recall.
Fair point.
Not a-
And when
it's
I
not
was
a preference.
doing it, it was yeah. When I was seeing him, I was. So yeah, that's fair.
Anyway,
I drink to taste, so I'm weird.
yeah, I did teach him cider and black currant when he was here. He liked that, so yes. But anyway, yeah, Alisaie is quietly settling on bouncing through a couple of bits in the martini menu, but she's very clearly not after getting drunk.
I'm looking for the most off-the-wall seeming thing.
That's the thing, they're not going for really off the wall here. I mean, the absolute most that you're going to get for off the wall probably is the tiramisu martini.
Then that ends up eating my focus.
Because you would have seen tiramisu portions in Sweet Tooth, so you're like, how do you make that into a drink?
Yep, that's pretty much the general question of the day for me now.
And it really does taste like liquid tiramisu.
The look of awe has now become bafflement. Hazel equals enjoys alcohol, does not entirely understand the processes, and is even more confused now.
But yes, I did know that Clarity and Ava were after trying to subtly ask a question, which I will give us time to do before we move on.
So actually, I would say I had thought, dancing's quite a thing for your people, right?
Yes and no. I think I see where you're going with that, but keep in mind that dance as a word has a different connotation in up north, just because it ties in so much with how people speak. Basically, there's two kinds of languages. There's a lingua franca, which is mostly the hands, your facial expression, the set of your shoulders, stuff like that. But that's just that's common for big events. It's what you guys call dance. It's a whole variation on the language, which is a whole body thing. So I mean, yeah, we do. There's a whole tradition where the couple go out with their respective mothers, and it's generally always mothers because of how our hunting bands work. It's kind of rare that you actually know who the father of any given child is. Unless they've come from a pair bond or a species thing comes out in the offspring, you can't necessarily tell. But the closest equivalent you guys have here, I think, is somebody speaking for you. Because the dance, as we're calling it, tells the story of the individual's life. It's not like there's set steps or anything. It's just, and that's kind of why I haven't brought it up for for this whole thing. Not that I wouldn't love to do it, but that would have to be teaching you guys like 2 separate languages in the space of an afternoon, and the only reason it took me as little time as it did was because I'm really good at moving. So, and besides, if it's not a mother, it's usually one of the Urdeja, anyone who's known you since you were a child. Nobody has known me since I was a child that's anywhere near here, so this is as close to the traditions of the people as I think I can get, which is, it's supposed to be quiet contemplation and prayer and, wishes for happiness and all the rest of it, but I can adapt. It's good. But that's why no flower crowns. It's meant to be pretty solemn. It's such a big deal there just because nobody does it, really. I mean, in my years there, I saw maybe 2. I heard of, I think, 1 other that we weren't in the right area for, but only 1 was my actual hunting band. The other was one that we just happened to meet up in one of the Arendans. So we take it kind of serious. And I'm sure when we pass by up north there'll be appropriate celebrations, but I don't think there's a lot of stuff from the people we can actually bring to this.
Do they pray to a certain god or goddess?
Nope. Not generally. I mean, that's the thing. That again, it's so rare that they don't look at it as that kind of a religious ceremony. If you have a god that you're particularly up for, I mean, usually up north it's, again, Pelor. Obad High comes up a lot because, Nature's Wrath is a big thing up there. Oral, obviously. And, we still try to decorate so that Sune will turn up and bless things, but kind of hard up there. But it's more of a personal contract and a contract with your hunting band. It's as much to assure them that just because you have this very particular bond with this one other person, that it's not going to interfere too much with the bonds with the rest of your pack. I mean, maybe you won't sleep with them anymore, but that's a choice. It's not a... It includes the pack to reassure them that they are still pack. That it's just... there's something different and something special, and the pack basically blesses that connection. And as they promise to stay being a functioning member of the pack volunteers to protect that bond. It's kind of a way of saying that, if the couple is having some issues, that they won't drive a wedge into the couple to, keep the status quo of, the pack is the pack without that extraneous. It's kind of complicated, but people figure it out if they want it badly enough. Nobody asks if they don't want it badly enough. Yeah, I think about stuff like that just because, again, of how soon it technically is. But when you know a thing, and I don't believe in waste. And a day without her in my life, as close as we can have it, is a waste, and I won't have it.
You two are probably the luckiest pair in existence right now.
I don't know. I think that crown is still held by your parents or the Crestwinds.
But I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind lending it to you and Remi for a day.
I think we can probably just take our places amongst the lucky.
That works too.
I think there's probably more than just the one crown, and everyone would say that, when they love someone enough, everyone would say that they're the luckiest people in the world. And while I do think that, I think that because I have found that one person, and somebody else might not appreciate Myri the same way I do. They might need their Miranda, their Corey, their Amel, their Twilly. I am confident enough in my own happiness that I don't need to lessen somebody else's good fortune, I guess.
Fair enough. To happiness, victory, and any further shenanigans we get ourselves into.
Here's to that. Yeah, I mean, Alisaie basically restrains herself to, just a couple of drinks. The espresso martini. It turns out they effectively call this Goldendale coffee, which Goldendale doesn't grow coffee.
Therefore, I need to try this.
It's effectively Irish coffee.
Oh no.
With apparently with Francine's superlative whiskey. Give me a perception check, Hazel. Let's see if you actually recognize.
Oh boy. $15.
It definitely tastes familiar.
If I can flag the waiter at any point.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's unobtrusive, but as soon as you look like you might be looking for somebody, it's almost like he teleports.
I'm not sure if this is impolite to ask, but what kind of... Is it whiskey that's in this?
Yes, it is. We leans closer. I think by your accent I can probably say this. We technically is not from Goldendale. The whiskey is a little bit of contraband from the Star Coast.
Oh. That might become less contraband relatively soon, I think.
You do understand that you are adventurers and I am a waiter, and this is so far above my pay grade.
I'm just going to be very glad when this becomes a more of a thing.
Well, it can be made with other bits of whiskey, but this is an upmarket establishment. We only use the best.
I'm so telling Francine about this.
The waiter gives, this is way too much information for a waiter expression, and leaves.
Yeah, I've at this point just forgotten to even exist because I'm turning to Alisaie. So Francine,
I did meet Francine, and I kind of gathered, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I turned to she turned to Alisaie.
Yeah.
So Francine's whiskey is
No, that's her saying, yeah, I gathered that.
So
remember, I speak fluent Hazel now.
We need to tell her something. We need to tell her. I know you can do the thing.
No, we don't need to tell her. She knows who she sells it to.
Yeah, point taken. Just yeet. Words failing.
You're going to burn your mouth if you keep guzzling like that.
I'm just shutting myself up.
Yeah. Again, given superlative drinks, it's probably 15 silver minimum each. Well, again, it entirely depends on who.
We're not letting her
Yeah.
pay.
So
Yeah.
so it's 2 gold for the 3 of you.
Okay.
2 gold each.
Yeah. Because you're each taking the extra 5 silver that covers.
Yar.
And yeah, I mean it's largely girl talk and minor conversations about what she might end up doing with her hair and that kind of thing. And I'm assuming you guys sort of gather. You guys are way more buzzed than these 4. So they're coming and discussing like I was actually thinking of non-magical earrings to match this chain thing I've got going on, and these guys are bouncing in with Remi the pool shark. But of course Remi's going to want to talk to these 2 to see if they got her information. But before that happens, it's kind of meeting up in the breakfast room and Alisaie turning to Remi and just going, have fun?
Yes.
Good.
Insight check.
Go ahead. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for, but...
I just want to... Because that yes seems to be understating the fun, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean,
23.
she had a great... She had a really great night. There's nothing more complicated than that. It's just sort of... There's a certain tobacco and cheap beer sort of smell clinging to some clothes, but you're all capable of standing up and walking in a straight line, so hey.
We're all still
Never
functional.
with this one.
at
At least not from.
we had fancy drinks and Hazel came very, very close to making a scene.
I'm me.
Apparently,
Like business as usual.
Apparently, Francine's contraband whiskey is the top shelf shit at the Nightingale's Wing. You would like it there, Darvin. You really have to go and at least have one drink at some stage. When you're not catering to Ree's wanting a bit more adventure.
I think you'd like the place too.
Oh, I probably would, but there's reasons for why I picked what we did. I mean, if nothing else, ruffles Ava's hair a little bit. I have a feeling that our noble lassie probably felt more at home there than she has almost anywhere else we've been so far. Come on, you need to remind yourself of the lap of luxury sometimes.
True.
Right, I'm going to go and try and get myself some sleep, but exciting day tomorrow, so hey.
I'll be up in a minute.
Okay.
And Remi
Yep.
sidles up to Ava and Clarity.
And Alisaie just bump up the stairs.
Darwin's like, I'm gonna go get some sleep too, as soon as my head stops vibrating.
Okay.
Well, it's still got that.
Yeah, they are talking a little loud. Even Froseth is talking a little loud, just because there was a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So yes, Darvin's gone up. Is anybody else hanging around, going up? What?
Russ, I'll go up to bed.
I'm gonna wait for whatever this information distribution is.
Okay, so the guys go up, and Remi has a Hazel, so
And the clarity. And
well, yeah,
Eva.
but yes, but Hazel was not part of the two that you
Okay.
really asked about that. So you have an extraneous half elf.
Extreme.
That's the name of my D&D band.
Anyway, yes.
We looked expectantly between the two of them, so it's a good time.
Well, we relay the.
So,
Alisaie
Let-
the
let-
people have traditions involving dancing and all of that stuff, but it's complicated in the way that, how movements are part of their language and how they express themselves. And so the couple would usually go out and dance with their mothers, and or someone who knew them as a child, and there's not really anyone like that in Alisaie's life right now who would do that sort of thing, and then it tells the story of their individual's life, but that's, it's not something that she can teach or teach within an afternoon, so
Yeah, what
Yeah.
Clarity, particularly with her focus on languages, would be able to summarize it to is dance is language, and you're covering that as best you can with somebody speaking for you at the ceremony, because that's what the dance is.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine. No. Thank you, anyways.
end of report.
You're welcome. Speaking of, I better get to work on mine.
Yes, it's gonna be a big day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting married.
Yeah, yes I am.
That's just adorable.
To think back when you were not yet headed down the adventuring rabbit hole and the mercenary life and all of that, you probably didn't even begin to think that this kind of a scenario would be playing out.
Nope.
Insight check.
Well, no.
I don't know why you're doing this, but okay.
Just wondering how much truth there is in that amount of nope.
She is
17.
definitely not considered
No,
these
it's
sort of excitements prior to.
and more to the
becoming
point,
adventurous.
and more to the point, which I think is the thing that Hazel is looking at, unless I miss my guess. No, Remi is perfectly cool with how this is playing out. It's just she in no way expected it.
Yep, that's right.
I'm just satisfied in having
quite fast.
figured that out.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
So I think we should follow those orders you just gave us and go get some rest.
Mhm.
Yes. Alright, gives him a nod and heads up.
Yeah. And, Alisaie has stayed up long enough to be like, yeah, so you're still absolutely sure you're cool about this.
Yes.
Good. And you're going to stop vibrating about telling me what that circlet thing actually does by tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because the squirming is kind of when you're sharing a bed with somebody, it makes it a little hard to sleep. A tickle fight ensues. Because God's forbid that Alisaie is going to let this go without a bit of joke and a bit of fun.
There's a lot of giggling.
Thankfully, the walls are pretty well soundproofed, so you're all good. Yeah. However early Remi wakes up, Alisaie is already out and gone with a little note on the on the footlocker they've got for their bits, going, trying to make myself pretty. Wish me luck. See you there. And just as a joke, the L word, Alisaie.
Yeah.
Probably note pinned down by the paw of a particularly elderly ginger cat. Yeah, that's the other thing for Barnabas. He's and clarity, because I think I didn't mention quite so much the last time. You will wind up sharing a bed with at least one cat.
So the cuddle pile probably has like a small cat tower on top of it.
Pretty much, yeah. That's just, you move to roll over and cat. You feel the cat, and that spot where your knees are bent, cat on shoulder, cat.
Be right back.
Sapphire's on my head.
Yeah, the elderly cats. You probably wake up partially because of the from the cat. So that's sort of a, what is this thing? Why does it look like us? Because they weren't overly thrilled with butterscotch either. The butterscotch. Ava basically wakes up because butterscotch is trying to play with new friends, and there's poof. Squirm. No, not that kind of bat. You know, the thing where elderly cats will just sort of roll over and pin.
Oh, the full-on. No, stop moving.
Yeah, and so what Ava wakes up to is squirm with this cat.
Get off.
Ow. Butterscotch is just nuzzle on Ava. Although it does give a look like, but I was just trying to play with them. They were friends. They were friends.
Play with the balls of paper. I can picture scrunchful bits of paper around.
Although to be fair, the cats have been playing with them, so they're the cats have been playing with those, so those have been batted all over the place. There are probably a couple out in the corridor. And in fact, Barnabas, Froseth, and Darvin will have one cat. This just old calico, the fur kind of getting faded a bit, walks up with a ball of paper in mouth, and Froseth winds up with said elderly calico on his chest, just dropping the bit of paper in that sort of play fetch with me kind of way. You've encouraged her now.
Yep.
Although it gives up on the paper relatively soon and just ends up playing with your tail.
As I'm sputtering into consciousness, how bad is hangover?
You only had a couple of drinks, you're fine.
I'm fine. I'm thinking, how does this is usually a hangover. There's usually a hangover. Someone's gonna have a hangover.
And funnily enough, nobody does. I mean, you guys were sensible enough you who went to the rock bar were sensible enough to have some water before you went to bed, so you're okay. And the all ladies group literally only had like 2 drinks.
Yeah,
No hangover. People usually hangovers. What's going on?
Yes,
that thing was just because of all the noise and then coming in where there wasn't as much noise.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were a bit buzzed, but, a pint of water before you go to bed and you're fine. So
Exactly.
Yeah, and you do have her get Polly knocking and going, "There is breakfast if anyone would like some. Your Your Alisaie has she grabbed some toast and went out, saying something about a grand mission to make herself look pretty.
Thank you.
I think she is joking, sir.
I was really confused because what? Okay. That makes more sense. Thank you.
Yes, sometimes people use comical downplaying of a thing as a form of humor. You're a bard. Should you not know this?
Just this recurring taunting of the bird.
You're breaking up really badly, even.
All right.
So I didn't hear that.
I'm used to doing it at my own expense. I'm not. It's odd to hear it from somebody else.
Perhaps she simply does it better than you do. And thump down the stairs.
He's good.
Take all the bits of paper before I go down to sort of put them in the bin or something.
Yeah, there's a waste basket in people's rooms, so you can.
Those cats are gonna get right back into that in like 20 minutes.
They're already knocking it over by the time she leaves the room. When Ava comes downstairs, don't worry, I will clean up the paper. Because a couple of balls have migrated down.
Already within like the span of 5 minutes.
Well, no, because they'd actually cleared out when you guys were. Well, yes, you bring anything that goes crinkle, crinkle, or is shiny, and they will use it as toys. Because the calico has been following first down the stairs the entire time, just bat at the tail, bat at the tail. Then when he sits down to breakfast, it just flump, bat, bat, bat. See?
The new phone process.
He's almost magnetic.
Do not say that in the city. Someone will try to make him so.
Oh, right, yeah. I almost forgot about the debacle in the researchers down in the mines.
Kurt Barnabas is having the look of he remembers the researchers here.
Keep forgetting that just because here is particularly newcomer friendly doesn't mean they're not going to science everything. Because I think
Shush.
did Calatil actually say science is the question and the answer is always yes?
Somebody did.
I'm pretty sure someone that we've been in the course of us walking around declared science is the question and the answer is always yes.
Well, yes, that is our provincial motto.
That's the that explains a lot.
Yes. But right now, I'm sure that you all have things to do. And there is a knock on the door, which I will get it. You all sit and we'll put breakfast on. And it's Corey and Amel just being like Corey is just doing the bounce. And Polly's like, please do sit down for some breakfast. We have a wide selection of jams and toast and breakfast pastries. You can actually have the breakfast pastries this time. You did not turn into a rabbit in the middle of it. And that means that I saved you something that you could not have the last time. And brings out still warm from the bakery, effectively pain au chocolat. So it's like a croissant, but with chocolate inside. You have no idea. Hell, you've never even had a croissant before. So you just see this bit of flaky pastry with what seems to be bits of chocolate oozing out the sides.
Just the idea of
it was saved for him. Yeah.
He's like. He's just like, oh my god.
You were looking at it longingly as Bunny last time, so I bought one for you. So try it.
I'm watching him.
And yeah, he will take a
You will
a
love it, darling.
decent, not like bite, but like
Yeah.
a good enough bite to get a good.
I mean,
bit of
it is a really good straight up, fresh, not quite right out the oven, but so that the chocolate is still a bit melty and gooey and warm and
Nice and crispy.
yeah, and crispy and
Just
buttery
chocolate
and
just like eyes closed, and you. It would be the Hazel I can see through time if his eyes weren't closed. Suddenly, no one else exists. It's just me and the pastry type of
yeah, you do have Corey and about going. I would love to know the name of the baker. We would very much like to trade notes. I'm sure we can arrange that, as I imagine that you will be at slight loose ends after whatever late lunch bits and pieces that you are arranging for. Has there been arrangements for that? And Corey speaks up at that point. Yes, actually, when we mentioned that Hearth was doing the ceremony, the individuals at the Farmer in the Dale were actually quite helpful. They arranged to close for the day and let me have free reign of their kitchen. With
Wow.
help from the chefs.
Oh boy, this is going to be a thing.
So you will actually have a wedding cake that I will bake for you.
No.
It was the one thing you actually said I could do, so I wanted
Yeah,
to make sure that
yes,
that was
I did.
a thing. And
Thank you.
I'll probably help somewhat with the dinner as well, but only somewhat because I really would actually like to take part in the actual reception. So once we finish breakfast, we can arrange for bits and pieces and make sure that everyone is ready to go. And I assume that Alisaie is preparing elsewhere?
Mhm.
And to speed things up, you've got, breakfast happens and y'all are getting into your various bits of finery, and I'm going to be kind and let Clarity take 20 on Hazel's vestments, but given that dexterity roll the first time, it takes some time to get that knot just right. And of course, Corey is helping Remi with various bits and pieces, and it just sits, watches Remi do whatever fidgeting that she's doing, and I mean, I'm not pressuring or anything. It's just that I had a feeling that you can put your own clothes on, dear. Was there anything you wanted to say or ask?
Not specifically, but I thought you would want to be here to help. I mean, more than you've helped already, more than I could have ever asked for.
That's sort of what I'm supposed to do. Help on the bigger end of things. It's what... I mean, to be honest, I wasn't entirely sure I was ever going to have to. You didn't seem disinclined towards relationships, but not anything this... serious.
And it has all been all very sudden, but a good sudden.
I'm very glad to hear that. I mean, you do both match up wonderfully. And I'm not going to say any more than that, because then we're starting to step on the me speaking for you thing.
Thank you.
But I will say that, again, you have built an extra bit of family that, by and large, the ones that are with you right now, anyway, discounting a couple of other individuals who I shall not be naming on such a joyous occasion, you've made a good one. And I hope that even peripherally I can be a part of that as well, even if it's just somewhere to turn up for a good dinner when you're back in Belarus.
We will when we're back in Valerace.
Good. And I trust them to ensure that you survive long enough to get back to Belarus on
Yes.
several occasions. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes.
They're all adorable and they're all wonderful.
Hmm.
And it's no more than you deserve. Forehead kiss. Yes, squish.
Very close.
Come on, you'll want to show off for the rest of your friends. Come on.
Yes.
I do have to ask, did Remi go for the trousers or the skirt?
Trousers.
I had a feeling, but I thought I should ask. So yeah, when you guys are your finery takes actually a little less time to get into, apart from like Hazel's whole thing. So she's actually probably down last. So it's Froseth, Ava, Darvin, and Barnabas who have watched Remi come down the stairs in that. You got Darvin giving you that look.
It's sitting Remi looking back. He's, oh, sorry.
Thank you, Darvin.
And not very long after that, you've got Clarity and Hazel in her vestments coming down.
And in a different way, similar reaction, more just like this is like Hazel looking like cleric with a capital C. So Darvin's just like, whoa.
Behold, for I am a priest.
Yeah.
Wow,
Clarity's
Hazel.
doing that Will Smith thing.
And of course, Clarity, Hazel, and Ava can now imagine Alisaie in that dress standing next to Remi in that outfit.
They're gonna look wonderful.
Yeah. We'll see how many people just see through time in response.
And just you've got Amel going, we honestly take up an entire trolley, so we should probably get on one and start getting any last minute bits and pieces and potentially greeting guests.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes chaos.
So yeah, trolley you've probably got about a half an hour by the time you get there before the ceremony begins. Alisaie hasn't arrived yet. She's clearly going to make an entrance. But the first two to arrive, who are actually already there waiting, are the two closest. So you've got Calatiel, who's still utterly androgynous, but fancy. It's weird. There's a very much a dress feel to it, but the body is still very androgynous. So either way, yeah, some significant makeup as well. So, but there's more a Bowie feel there than anything else, particularly with the heavily styled, but still somehow kind of haphazard looking, very red hair. And then you've got Hial Fortinbras in an outfit not dissimilar to the one that Remi is wearing. And you've got Calatel going, ah! Look at this! You have decorated wonderfully! This is going to be wonderful, and I understand that you have the farmer in the dell for reception. I do hope that we will be permitted to arrive at the reception.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. And Hial Fortinbras is like, if the cake is anything like the pastries that tend to get brought in as treats around the various barracks, it will be well worth it. Paladin Crestwind, congratulations.
Thank you.
And at around that point, funnily enough, it's actually Vievaled who turns up next. She's back in the more human guise. There's a lot of hair to pin up, but she has had to do it just because there's road. Is stuck with plain but still very elegant silver dress that pretty much matches the hair. I think that possibly my sibling may have invited us for you, so on behalf of us all, I do apologize, but I admit I did very much want to be here to see this. And, of course I did want to, and looks at Vroseth. Hello.
Hello.
You're looking well.
Thank you.
That suits you. We do need to have a talk later, because I understand that you stabbed a very interesting statue, and you may have awakened that sword of yours.
Right. Yes.
We'll have a chat.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat. Pat, pat.
Okay.
The next one is tall, blonde, human-looking individual, close to priestly vestments, not quite. This is Bahir Zet. Most of you saw him in the mirror before. Congratulations and felicitations on a very joyous occasion.
Thank you.
Gives Remi a bit of a look and a nod of, we might have to talk one-on-one later, but not right now. Down to the conversation you had with Heskan. And after that, her breastplate is much better polished and the dents are basically out, but she's in dwarven wedding bits and pieces. Kreia Bendis, who, for Barnabas's edification and clarities to a point, think Wonder Woman as she should be drawn. Amazon build, long dark hair. In this case, she's actually worn it loose because it's an occasion, and so she's got this kind of goldish circlet thing across her bow just to keep it out of her face. I am not sure whether I should be taking. No, I should not be taking credit for this, but I do feel that it is very interesting that you met in my province, so I'm happy with this. Marriage of alpha bitches is wonderful. And she still has the giant fuck off glaive.
Oh god, Hazel's expression. My expression is like varying between, oh no, she's hot. And, oh god, we're all gonna die.
You do have Calatiel going, this is your finery? If you decide to change my wardrobe again, we are going to have words. I do not care if you are my sibling. But you look like you're going to war. Given the look that one's mother is giving me, I might well have to. And Corey is just... I promised not until after the ceremony, but you and I are going to have words. And why are we waiting until the ceremony is over? Because one of the spouses asked us to! I see where you get it from. The clarity gets it at the back of her head. I think I'm going to bless this entire arrangement just because it's funny. From her patron.
Yay.
And yeah, you guys have clarity. Just
Too distracted. Badness. Hot but terrifying. Hot but terrifying. Hot but terrifying. Somebody make my brain stop.
somebody might want to nudge Hazel into position because we're getting to about that time.
What?
But time to do the thing.
Yes, and we are going to run slightly over, I think, because this got stupid
fine.
real fast. But yeah, at around about that point, as Hazel is desperately trying to get herself organized, and Alisaie not wanting to get.
Whilst she's doing,
Oh, go ahead.
while she's doing that, I'm being a very careful eye around the building for anything suspicious.
Give me a perception check.
20.
Oh.
I mean, half the city is probably watching this just because it's interesting. And it does mean that you're the first one to say the little rented horse and carriage that Alisaie got just because she didn't want to have to try and deal with the trolley. And also the first one to see her step out in that dress with her hair in kind of... I mean, most of it's just straight down her back, being pinned by that circlet that Remi gave her. There's a sort of a knot at the top as well, so some of her hair is also being pinned back that way, and the one bit of color to her outfit that's not gold is tucked into that little knot at the back is the gold the rose enamel hairpin thing that you gave her. Didn't bother with the earrings, didn't bother with the manicure, but she's got the bracelet that the bracelet that Remi gave her, the necklace with the protection charm, which looks a little... I mean, it's a cheap woven thing, but it still fits with the outfit reasonably well as far as that goes. But she does look... If she popped the wings right then, she would look every inch the Celestial. You guys finally notice the dragons kind of look over, and I think we should be sitting down now. And Alisaie kind of steps forward. Hi.
Oh my god.
It just gives Remi a smile and a wink. And steps over and takes her place, because there's not a whole "here comes the bride" bit of thing. It's far more equality about this kind of thing. So, surprise.
Remi belatedly starts moving.
Yeah, and sort of meet up in the middle in front of Hazel. Alisaie so takes Remi's hand and very quietly before Hazel starts, "You look fantastic."
I'm not sure I have words for what you look like.
That'll do. Looks at Hazel. You're muted. There you go.
No, I'm not. I was
You were
being
making...
quiet.
Yeah.
I was...
Breathe, Hazel.
Okay. We gathered together in the sight of the gods to witness the union of Remi Crestwind and Alisaie Featherfall. Marriage is a sacred bond, an arrangement of all the gods of life, light, love, and plenty. To those who seek it, we grant these blessings in the name of the gods. May the gods go with you and bless you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall softly upon your fields. May the warm rays of the sun fall upon your home. And may the hand of a friend always be near. May green be the grass you walk on. May blue be the skies above you. May pure be the joys that surround you. May true be the hearts that love you. May you live your life with trust and nurture lifelong affection. May your lifelong dreams come true for you. Move ever in that direction. May you see your children's children. May you be poor in misfortune and rich in blessings. May you know nothing but happiness from this day forward. May joy and peace surround you both. Contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you. Now, gods bless you evermore. May the light of friendship guide your paths together. May the joy of living for each other tip a smile from your lips, a twinkle from your eye, and when eternity beckons at the end of the life heaped high with love, may the gods embrace you with the arms that have nurtured you the whole length of your joy-filled days. And today, may the spirit of love find a dwelling place in your hearts. Okay, who will speak for Remi Crestwind on this day of joy?
Corey stands up and, I'll speak for you first, just to say, breathe.
I don't do this often!
Give a pat on the shoulder. My Remi has always been disproportionately loud for her size ever since she was very, very small. Perhaps not verbally, but she seems to be making up for her substandard height by making sure that people were aware of her presence when she wanted them to be. That has occasionally carried over into the fact that she cannot seem to make herself disappear no matter how much she wants to. But the way she always sought to be noticed was a very different sort of respect. It didn't necessarily demand affection. It demanded respect and to be heard and to be listened to and to be obeyed. I think she always had an eye to eventual command of a sort, or at the very least to be sure that when she had an idea, a plan, a tactic, that she would be heard. But that was what she was aiming for, and it tended to obscure a great deal else. Things that I always hoped that the world would be able to see. Her love of the little joys. The softer heart than she cares to admit under all that literal and metaphorical armor. I worried so much because I wanted the world to love her the way I do, all of her, the way she deserved to be loved. To be able to express her whole self instead of hiding it away because that's not what was demanded of her by her chosen profession. I wanted to see that there was more than the profession. There was more to who she was than what she did. Because that's what it seemed to be, what she did. And then along comes this individual, looks at Alisaie, who somehow, and I have no idea how, managed to see all those things in a shorter time than even this apparently very quickly planned situation would credit. I'm pretty sure she saw who you were right away. And if anyone was going to be good enough for my Remi, it will be someone who looked past the armor straight off and see the loving heart, the compassion, the awkwardness, the silliness, The adventuresome spirit that's about more than fighting the good fight, the wanting to see things and do things, and that brings it out of you. I think that you two will be wonderful together, and I've seen more of my Remi since you two met than I have since you were a very little girl. And I am so grateful to see it. Live happily, live well. And I don't even think I need to make the threat that most mothers would make in this situation. I don't think it'll ever come up. That is how confident I am in this with the two of you.
Aw, Mom.
Remi, you deserve every happiness, and I am confident that you have it. Kisses her on the forehead and steps back down. Gestures to Hazel and gives that, gesture that's breathe.
Alright. Who will speak for Alisaie Featherfall on this day of joy?
Ava gets up. Picks her face. Alisaie Featherfall. There are many words to describe Alisaie Featherfall. Fierce warrior, devoted friend, selfless protector, brutally honest, but usually we need it. Those she loves, she will fight to the death for. And in fact, knowing her, she'd probably find a way to do it from beyond the veil. All this to say, she and Remi complement each other. And it's clear as day, they won't let anything get between them, or anyone. Alisaie is a sister in any way but blood, in every way but blood. And if I can be half the person she is, that'll be something to be proud of. There is much we can't control in this world, a lot we don't know. But one thing I'm absolutely certain of is that no world can live without love. And with Alisaie and Remi around, I know that this one never will.
Apparently she sits back down, so back to you, Hazel.
Okay. Remi Crestwind, would you speak a word for your intended?
She squeezes Alisaie's hands. Alisaie, every day I am in awe of how you live your life to the fullest, and you inspire everyone else around you to do the same. And I'm so happy that I've been able to see that every day, and that I will continue to see that every day for the rest of our lives. There's really no other words that can really put things into account as much as what I will do alongside you every day. And you're just so amazing, and I love you.
Back to Hazel, apparently.
Alisaie Featherfall, would you speak a word for your intended?
From the very first moment I saw you, you intrigued me a little. I mean, yeah, part of it was that I like the little dark-haired butch ones, but it was something else, something indefinable that was fascinating, but that you were also kind of holding back a little bit. I think. I thought. I think I was right. Like your mother said, there is so much to you. And the fact that you were willing to share it with me, there aren't really any words for how that makes me feel. A lot of my life has not been sharing everything. And what people lock away, they have a very good reason to keep there. You offered that glimpse of yourself freely and with no other reason than because you wanted to. And that was everything, as far as I was concerned. I can fight at your side, and I always will. But when I found that I could also just walk down a city street and shop and laugh with you, that was when I realized that there is no thing I could do on this planet that I wouldn't want to do without you. I mean, okay, sometimes I might need my space, but you know what I mean. Everything that I do is better imagining sharing it with you. Everything that I want to do and see, I can't imagine it without you by my side. I've shared about everything that's in here with you thus far, the same way as you have with me. There's one thing I haven't shared. Exactly. My name was a choice. And I can't give up all of it. But it is something that can be changed a little bit. Now, Crestfall is a really crappy way to mark a sharing of something this joyful. Featherwind, on the other hand, I think works wonders. I'm not falling anymore. You've caught me.
Aww.
So I would like to state for the record, before all those here present, that I will currently be going by Alisaie Featherwind in honor of myself and my wife. Gestures to Hazel. Squeezes Remi's hand.
Do you, Alisaie Featherwind, take Remi Crestwind to be your bond, to be their constant friend, their partner in life, and their true love, to love them without reservation, honor and respect them, protect them from harm, comfort them in times of distress, and grow with them in mind and spirit?
I do.
Do you, Remi Crestwind, take Alisaie Featherwind to be your bond, to be their constant friend, their partner in life, and their true love?
I
To
do.
love them.
We'll leave it. We'll leave it there.
Remi's
'cause-
good.
Reach over is like, bop. You're good. You know what? I think you two have more than made up for any of the following, and I'll have this for whatever you end up doing. So go ahead and kiss.
You left out. It's like you left out first. This whole part of the ceremony.
Oh no, I haven't left it out. I'm just going to be doing that.
Okay, fine. Hey, I get an excuse. Kisses Remi. The full on deep dip.
And I'm
Remi
just
clings to her.
I'm going to gesture to Froseth and start the last bit. Gods in the heavens above, please protect the ones we love. We honor all you created as they pledge their hearts and lives together. We honor Mother Earth I ask for this marriage to be abundant and grow stronger through the seasons.
So
We honor fire.
wait. One step at a time. So it is going to be it's earth, air, water, air, isn't it?
Earth, fire, air.
Earth,
and
fire, air, water. So yeah, at each step of those, she will pause, and you can do a very small elemental conjuring that suits the element.
Okay.
yeah, fun.
I guess we just did Earth.
Mhm.
Yep. Earth is the first one, so yes. You know what? Given that we have a very happy archfey, a solar present, I'm going to give you just enough extra tweak of Earth that you can actually kind of Earth shape a little globe thing and actually have a flower kind of grow out of it.
Okay. Yeah, that.
Flower.
Okay, Earth is done, and that
All right.
settles, and the flower kind of floats in front of Clarity.
We honor fire and ask that this union be warm and glowing with love in their hearts. Gestures to process.
So for fire, probably. I'm guessing there's some sort of candles or something there that has fire. So in there, like draw some fire into a spot and basically recreate the kiss they just had with like in flame.
That is brilliant.
As you're doing that, though, as well, the sun seems to get ever so slightly brighter and almost kind of spotlights the two of them. So there's fairly clearly very divine blessing on this whole thing. Okay.
We honor wind and ask that they sail through life safe and calm as in their father's arms.
Amel kind of looks, and Alisaie just...
What can I do with wind?
Well, they're standing under an arch which has certain amounts of flowers in it. If you wanted to shake that to
so,
kind of
like,
confetti
shake
them.
that. Yeah. Carry the flowers, like whip around them type thing.
Wow.
And once that's sort of settled from the sheer
Hazel's going to be picking flower petals out of her hair for a week.
yeah, I was just gonna wait for that to settle. Jostle the bow and hair just to clear it a bit. We honor water to clean and soothe their relationship that it may never thirst for love.
There are kind of fountains in the very center of the Conundrum Pavilion. You can probably just kind of recreate one of the fountains in a convenient spot, just to look impressive, if you wanted.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, something like a fountain, or probably rain a bit on the earth and the flower that was made earlier. Just like gentle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brave pause after he finishes. With all the forces of the universe you created, we pray for harmony and true happiness as they forever grow young together. In the God's grace they rise, bonded in Pelor's light and Sune's grace. And I'm just looking up as I get through that last line.
And yeah, there's a couple of the flowers, not enough to completely denude, come off without the extra wind, so that just drifts down on the two of them, and that spotlight feel intensifies a bit more. And yet more smooching, because Alisaie is going to take any excuse at this point. Corey is crying her eyes out, and Mel is just pat, 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 pat.
Darvin's like,
I'm gonna walk over to Froseth, fist bump.
Artemis is falling like a baby.
okay, Darvin sings like he's just like, oh, the hell with it. He's just like it.
So it's
too perfect.
it's Corey, Barnabas, and Darvin just.
Just after fist bumping Froseth, just get out of the way. Just let Remi and Alisaie keep smooching.
Yeah, that'll probably go on for a while, and we can deal with anything to do with the reception and how Remi wants to explain what that actually does, because we are running a half an hour behind now. So.
Do you want to pick up exactly?
Yes, we will pick up exactly where we left off here.
Okay.
This is why I keep records and recordings, and I did press record this time, and I made sure that I set all the bits and pieces, so we're good. So when we return in 2 weeks' time, we will continue from exactly this moment. Thank you for bearing with us, guys.
Thank
See you in 2
you.
weeks.